Thank you. Of course, our sister Mia Motley, the Prime Minister of Barbados, she said, "Let us preserve the biodiversity of this world. It is our responsibility. We will do it together, everyone in there. Please continue to help us to share. Continue to help us to don't watch alone. Don't watch alone. Share it. Subscribe. Of course, hit the love and like buttons to counter the algorithm. You can see that blocking what we're doing because we mentioned certain words. It's all good because we're going to break everything down through the week and parcel it back, shove it into their mouth, and they will eat it because we must move forward. No religious or ideological reform without truth. For those of you that are preaching for you to reform, or ideological reform, religious reform, if you are not ready to embrace truth, you will not get that reform. You have to start from truth. You have to embrace truth. You'll be willing, like my sister said at the introduction, you'll be willing to embrace, be transparent. You must make up your mind that okay, because if you want to come to equity, come with clean hands. Be ready, transparent. You hear this week chants from the river to the sea. Some people don't even know what it means. They join them from the river to the sea. That means mass murder, genocide, or is the one that we hear in Nigeria. Oh, to deep Quran in Atlantic Ocean is genocide. So before you start chanting anything or shouting anything or carrying anything, any placard, find out. Stop doing Obureke. Find out who are you promoting, on whose camp are you. You see yourself, your enemy. You, because of ignorance, you enter the vehicle that your enemy is loading, and you become a mass. You become a casualty because of ignorance. Your enemy is loading a vehicle. You're gonna enter. Your destination is not the same. It's time to end all hypocrisy in the name of fighting for God. This is for the Islamic people. You're fighting for God. Who sent you? Or promoting or marketing God, our God of men. You will lie in the name of God. God did not send you. You will fake miracle, fake healing, fake everything. Who sent you? Is that the spirituality? Is that how to know God? Or are we talking about those that are scaring our vulnerable people with gods of the land or devils of the land, whatever it is, in the name of traditional worshiping? All this madness needs to go. Stop. They need to be reformed. Whether cultural, tradition, whatever you call it, we need to use our brain to reform this nonsense. Enough of all this. Because all these things, they make them for the poor people. Why the rich ones do not keep any of these rules they impose on the poor people? It needs to stop. The hypocrisy is too much. It needs to stop. That's not how to build a civilized society, a modern society, because we are telling you that we are building a modern society, a modern world, a world where there's justice, equity, and fairness for all, not for some people, not for white, not for black only, not for Arab only, for everyone. Because we are able to do it. We have brain in our head, not water. It's not pap that is inside brain. You. We are able to do this. Make the world a better place. We are able to. We have enough resources to do this. We must begin to look at historical religious facts and begin to honestly reform them. Shying away from these facts will show irresponsibility. If you are a responsible adult, you must be willing to say yes. We need to really reform these things. We need to look into these things. Cultures and traditions are meant for people, meant for humans, not humans for culture. Any culture that is not serving us, or any religion that is not serving us, it should be done away with or reformed. We are human beings, for crying out loud. What is wrong with us? Are we goats? Why is it that simple things are difficult for people to understand? And they'll be speaking English with their beard and bushy hair in the name of a professor. Stop deceiving our children, because our youths are ready to think critically. It's only you old men and women, some. You see them coming out to do presentations and you say, what is wrong with this one? If your brain is not functional, you can't think critically, can you get out of the way so that our children that can reason very well can come on stage so that we'll go where we're going? Enough of all this. It's time to begin to change our education system and curriculum. We need to reverse the indoctrination of our children and future generations. Old Gozian is enough. Enough. Trust and peace has to be built on undiluted truth and political responsibility, like my sister said earlier. For you to be a leader is responsibility. For you to say, oh, I'm an Igbo person or Yoruba person, it comes with responsibility. Responsibility to take care of the land, the responsibility to take care of the people on the land and the resources there. It is your responsibility. It's not to shout doctor, a professor, lawyer, there, this one. No. Any title or any position you occupy, you must be capable to do the job, to do the work. It comes with responsibility. Otherwise, the people should kick them out. We must begin to change to better versions of ourselves. From individual, community, better versions. Sit down and let your brains, let people stop being, this madness needs to stop. Seek love and blessing for yourself and your neighbors. We need to stop all this. Like we said, any religion that is promoted through war, jihad or crusade, or hatred of others is satanic and not of God, and should be reformed or thrown away completely. Any civilization, political view, culture, or ideology promulgated through stealing and grabbing of people's lands and resources is devilish and should be resisted by the entire world and humanity, because we are becoming a global village. My people will say, Ometu imi, Ometu anya, because the eye and the nose are neighbors. If you affect the nose, the eye will start crying because they're neighbors. Gone are the days where you say it's not my business, it's not my business, I don't know, it's happening to that my neighbor. No, the world has become a global village. It's not when we had to deal with COVID. It came from somewhere, but everybody had to die. Have you seen why you cannot just turn your face the other side and say it's not my business? We are coming closer. The world is becoming a global village. So it is our responsibility, especially adults, to protect our children, to make sure that we are building a world where our children can survive. All these narcissistic leaders are mentally ill people. They need to go and be quarantined into rehabilitation camps. You should not admire them. You should not follow them. You should not embrace them. There's no way in a same world where something like Hitler would happen. What were you people doing? He cooked it up, executed it, and you people were watching. In this world,
your people are about to do that. Somebody is about to sell you guys to the Fulanese. And they're there acting like they will run for presidency.
it's our responsibility.
Don't know.
Sorry, go ahead, my dear.
Okay. No. I was just commenting what you're saying.
It's our responsibility to stop them. All these narcissists, because they're self-absorbing, egoistic, with controlling and manipulating behavior. It's easy to know them, either as husband, as wife, as a leader. You can identify them, and when you identify them, stop promoting them. Don't say, "Oh, hey, because they always know how to talk. They know what leaders know to do, blah, 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 blah. Whether they are church leaders or whatever leader. Once you notice them, begin to stop them. Don't promote them. Don't embrace them. Don't push them. Don't go and get 1 million followership when you're following a madman or a mad person. And any scripture, I don't care who wrote it, or text that promotes violence, it's dangerous. And most of the time, people take these things out of context. Scriptures should not be taken out of context anymore. Don't allow people, and that's why I tell people, if anyone you're following, if you're a Christian, if you're a Muslim, go and read that book. Read it by yourself so that you will know. Because if you read it, they will not manipulate you. Even devil quotes scriptures. But most of the time, they will take it out of context. Anybody that wants to manipulate you will quote scripture out of context. But if you read it and you knew it very well, you will not be manipulated. Because when he says it, it's like when they talk about divorce. Oh, God hates divorce. Meanwhile, if you read a verse above that thing that they're preaching, you see that God was actually talking to men that are bullying their wives. And say, don't do that to the wife of your youth. Then you use her and dump her. But today, people are using it to keep women that have been abused in abuse camp. Because people chose laziness. You cannot afford to be lazy if you must be any of these three religions that we mentioned. You must study the book so that you will know it. And when they start manipulating you with them, you say no. I've told people, say anything that does not make sense. If somebody come and preach it for you and it doesn't make sense, don't embrace it. It's not from God. People who are still reading and studying or believing this type of text, the one that will tend to pie people, they should not be part of this present day humanity and present day world that we are trying to build. It's time to begin to change our way of reasoning, the way we think, the way we look at issues. Because it's only when you do that, it will be easier for you to understand certain things that we're saying. Like Ninas will always say, for you to embrace self-determination, go and study the template put on the table. Don't go and start judging something that you never studied. That's beer parlor discussion, and we don't want that anymore. We must talk to our people, go and study the solution that is on the table. Then we know to see the options. Then we go for the superior argument. We're not saying that people should not talk. They talk from place of information, not place of ignorance. Ignorance is not an opinion. Enough. Thank you.
Yep.
Have you learned anything? Have you learned something today? Sorry, dear.
Go ahead.
Have you learned something today? Have you learned something new today? Please write in the comment section and share with the people.